Bilingualism in children is associated with many conflicting ideas concerning their development. Many common language development myths claim that learning two languages have negative effects on the child. One of these myths are the effects that bilingualism has on a child's social-emotional development. Some say that learning two languages stunts a child's social competence, when in fact it is the opposite. Bilingual children have been shown to have increased social-emotional skills. This is in large part due to the amount of language exposure they receive, compared to children who are only learning one language. In this video, we will define what social-emotional development is, as well as what bilingualism is. We will then discuss the effects that bilingualism has on social-emotional development in children, and the research that supports it. Social-emotional development involves building the skills that allow for success in different social settings. For children, this is especially important at school, making friends and interacting with teachers. Some examples of these developments are pro-social behaviors, such as sharing, helping, and showing empathy. Emotional well-being is another. This often takes the form of confidence, or the ability to regulate emotions. Finally, social well-being refers to the ability to maintain good relations with others. A bilingual is an individual who is able to communicate in two languages. They do not necessarily have to have been learning both languages at the same time, although they generally are proficient in both. However, bilinguals are rarely equally proficient in both languages. A study conducted in 2021 looked at Singaporean preschoolers who spoke either Mandarin English, Malay English, or Tamil English. The researchers used a number of standardized tests and surveys. One of them was the NEPSI-2, which looked at the child's ability to identify different facial expressions. They also interviewed the parents of the children to determine what and how much language is used at home. Finally, they tested children on their receptive vocabulary, which are the words that they can understand, using the Bilingual Language Assessment Battery, or BLAB. They found that children who had more bilingual output, which means they spoke more of each language at home, were associated with better prosocial skills. This can be seen in the chart where it says bilingual output under T, 2.13. This means that bilingual output and prosocial behaviors have a strong association. Additionally, better receptive vocabulary knowledge in English was associated with better prosocial skills and lower social-emotional difficulties. The researchers explained this finding as children who possess greater receptive vocabulary, namely bilinguals, are more capable of understanding subtle messages, which allow for great adaptability in different social settings, and therefore greater social well-being. This could also be why those same children have less negative behaviors, such as being short-tempered. This in turn may mean making friends is easier for these children. Other research has shown the effects of learning two languages on social-emotional development. Haas et al. 2014 points out the significance of executive functioning. These functions include planning, problem-solving, and working memory, skills that bilingual children can use to overcome disputes, challenges, or disagreements within the social landscape. Emotional regulation is another skill that bilinguals may have an advantage with. Since bilinguals are capable of expressing themselves in two languages, they could have a greater understanding of emotions and thus are more equipped to control their own. Sun 2019 found similar results in their research on Mandarin English bilingual children. They discovered a connection between social-emotional skills like emotional regulation and home language exposure. The more children spoke and were spoken to in Mandarin at home, the better the children's social-emotional skills. Overall, bilingual children appear to have an advantage when it comes to their social-emotional development. Things like prosocial behaviors, emotional regulation, navigating social challenges, and possessing less negative social behaviors have been characteristic of children who are fluent in two languages. A common thread within these different studies have been the effects of having a strong language environment. Since bilingual children are receiving more language input and output, and a variety of both, they are better equipped to develop these social-emotional skills. Thank you very much for listening to my video.